Hello everyone, this is Jacques LaVenture. We're at Get Fit Eat Well, Silicon Valley. And we have three special guests today. First guest is Dr. Banta, who is a PhD specialized in obesity. And then we have Dr. Matthew, a Columbia graduate straight from Kerala, India, who studied in Columbia, New York City. And then we have Dr. Press from Silicon Valley, who works with the NFL. And this segment is health is your wealth. We struggle with this, right? Is health more important than wealth? So we invited, they don't really know that they've been invited, financial consultants from San Jose, and they're here to ask any questions from our special guests. So we're going to bring our first guest, Dr. Banta, on.
Hello.
Well, thank you. Thank you for coming to the show here today.
Great to be here today.
Yeah, to Silicon Valley.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you already know, I'm from Brooklyn, and it's been an honor to come here to Silicon Valley. And I did a little bit of research and found out that you specialize in obesity. Yeah, so tell me about that, because you did your PhD research on obesity health. Right?
I did, actually, yeah. So I have a background in health psychology and clinical psychology, and obesity was something that was very interesting to me. I actually first started looking at the social and effects of obesity on hiring decisions, actually, but then started looking more at working with obesity as a clinical condition. And so I looked at obesity and overweight with people that had bariatric surgery in medically supervised weight loss clinics, such as for Kaiser, and in some community clinics, and even with high-functioning executives and people working with the tech space in more of a private practice setting. And so what I found was that everyone that was trying to struggle with, whether it was 10 extra pounds or 100 extra pounds, was really struggling with the same common factor. So I learned a lot about what worked and what didn't work. And I also, of course, as a human, have struggled with my own life and making healthy decisions. So,
So what inspired you to get involved in obesity? Did someone in your family, or like what motivated you to get involved in obesity health specifically?
I think I didn't know you were gonna ask me that, but it's a great question. So I think it brings up some vulnerability for me. As a kid, I got teased a little bit for being a little bit chubby, and there's so much pressure societally around body image, and there's a lot of impact on people, particularly females, I think, and that was something I looked at in my research on appearance. And if you think about it, the weight industry is a $66 billion industry, right? And I raise teenage daughters, and I know that there's a lot of pressure on that. So something that's really important and became really important for me was understanding the difference between the need to look a certain way and then the need to feel a certain way, and the need for health from the inside out, which I know is really important to you too.
Yes. Yeah. And that's great, because our second guest is from Kerala, India, and I had an opportunity to spend some time there, and it was just kind of blew my mind that 90% high in literacy and big in innovation, but struggling with health. Here in America we struggle in health, but why do you think that's a problem on with the research you've done? Like what's the problem that we are facing?
Sure. I think that you could do a whole show or a whole series on this problem, because it's so complex and there's not that much time. However, I think a few things that contribute, because the problem is continuing to grow, despite us being a very advanced nation. I think so. Some of it is, if you look at the youth, where with the weight problem being almost a third of kids are overweight. Screen time, kids are on screens a lot. Some research is showing, in some areas and some ages, more time than they're in school. Right. So there's an activity level that's a problem. Convenience is a huge factor. It's much easier to grab something from a fast food place than it is for us to make a healthy meal. And I know that you do a lot with trying to eat and have that be convenient too. The convenience. And then also sometimes the easier choices are quicker.
this is a great transition. So we have our researcher, Dr. Matthew from Keala, that's going to also join and share her experience. And I would love for her to kind of talk about that
Great.
as well. Thank you. So Dr. Matthew, thank
Hi,
you.
Zach.
So Dr. Matthew and I had an opportunity to go to Keala, India, and give talks about what the problem is there with food. And so could you share your personal experience? I know with AutoVeggie. AutoVeggie
Yes,
was
sure.
one of the things that I found fascinating with your research. Would you mind
So-
sharing that and how that can apply for what we're talking about today?
Yes, so autophagy means self-eat in Greek. So basically it's your cell's recycling mechanism. So for example, let's say if we keep accumulating trash, right? At some point we have to recycle or get rid of unwanted materials. So similarly inside your cells, things get accumulated, and at some point you have to get rid of them.
Okay.
So if that doesn't work properly, you get many diseases like cancer, diabetes, you name it.
Okay.
So, and autophagy also, you can induce autophagy in two ways. One is exercising more, and second is intermittent fasting.
Intermediate fasting, that's
Yes.
a big one.
Yeah,
Right.
and that's why you see all these people, saying more like younger looking skin or like more anti-aging. It's very related to autophagy.
Okay, and so I know that there's been both ends of it of intermediate fasting. Is it safe? What is your experience of? Is it safe?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Everything has to be in balance.
Balance, correct.
You can't go extreme, but like once a month doing intermittent fasting is proven to be very good for your body.
Okay.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, Jack, in Kerala, you see one of the big problem is diabetes, right? But
Right.
when I was growing up in Kerala, especially in my mom, she used to cook everything from scratch. So, fresh coconuts, everything. But these days, diet is switching. People are more looking to the West, to the US, and, trying to change the food habits. That's
Right.
one of the main reasons.
Yes. So that's great. I'm glad that you can actually bring that, because I think AutoVeggie is something that we don't hear enough, and intermediate fasting is the closest thing that's buzzing right now, and that can lead to our next guest, who works with professional athletes. Her research has really touched me. I've been able to kind of work out with her as well, Dr. Press, and kind of share your research that you've done. And I know that we had talked prior about self-care, because I think that is all important to share your research background. And so if you can tell us about your research. I know that you kind of did a lot of things in your career.
So I started out in my dissertation research looking at the neuropsychological effects of chronic cocaine and opiate abuse, and that led to many decades of working with people in the field of addictions, and that's how I came involved with the NFL. I work with players that have problems with drugs or alcohol.
Right.
So there's a lot of similarity where people use external substances as a way of self-soothing, calming themselves down, feeling happy, feeling sad,
Right.
regulating their moods. And there are medically sanctioned, safe ways to use substances. And also food. Food is a very primitive source of gratification for all of us.
Yes.
Starting
yes,
from
yes.
right out of the gate. And it can be a source of great comfort, but then it can become overused or
Right.
misused,
Right.
abused, so to speak. And then
Right.
we have the whole gamut of eating disorders and whatnot. So I think both in the field of substance abuse and in eating disorders, there's uses and abuses of,
Right.
of food in that
And
way.
I'm glad that you mentioned that, because that is really the basis of today's show, is talking about food being the source to really change our perspective on how to do self-care, and also sustainability. We talked about it, Dr. Ben. We talked about sustainability, and that's probably one of the most important things that I would want to share with our viewers about food sustainability, because I know the food system in America is really jacked up, if you ask me. And so I want to talk about sustainability from all your perspectives, in as fast as you can about sustainability.
What the food system is actually really important, and so but I think for me what that word means is really about making changes over time, and that's not what anyone wants to hear when I talk to them about weight loss. And I've worked with hundreds or thousands of people on nutrition and weight loss, but having a support system, an accountability partner or accountability partners, and having a plan in place so that the changes can happen over time. It's very easy to start a diet, start a change, start an exercise thing, join a gym. We've all done that thousands of times. But what's really difficult, and where the proof is in the pudding, is really having a plan in place that you're going to be able to do for life, right?
Yes.
So to me, that's what sustainability is about.
Okay, cool. So we are going to do a challenge. We have the financial group from San Jose that's here. We invited a professional to kind of host and bring their friends involved. So there's 3 contestants. They are not aware about this challenge. So and I've been teaching for the last 10 years, and through the 10 years of teaching, energy balls were like one of the most engaging dessert that from adults and children to prepare. And so I have energy balls for them to prepare. So we're gonna go and, can you help me commentate on their experience?
Sure.
All right, so I'm gonna explain the rules for this game. So Mina.
Yes.
Yes, so a little bit about Mina. Mina is from San Francisco.
Yes.
Part of the financial group here in San Francisco. And I wanted you to kind of share with me what inspired you to take part of this challenge. It's a plant-based challenge that it teaches people to eat local. Really about putting recipes less than 5 minutes. Today is going to be simple. It's energy balls. Excited about that. And so if you can kind of share with me, your personal story, and why did you bring your friends, your colleagues involved?
Sure, definitely. So my personal story, about 3 years ago, I had a total hip replacement.
Okay.
And as one of the doctors had mentioned about opioids, my doctors were drugging me as much as like for a year or 2. And what I basically didn't know that the opioids, my body was addicted to it. And from there on, I really needed a total hip replacement. And the doctor at Stanford Medical Center, Dr. Bellini, he said that, can you hold off on the surgery? And I said to him, I grabbed his arm, I said, if you don't provide this surgery for me, my doctors will drug me to death. So it took 3 months to get on the program and have the total hip, but didn't realize that my body was addicted to the drugs. And it took about 6 months to get off of it. I did the tapering method, and it was not easy. And after that, I had gained so much weight from being off the drugs that I didn't realize that the food that I was eating had a lot of hormones in it. And it was causing me to profusely sweat. And I couldn't understand why I was getting so hot. So one of my friends from India said that I should cut eggs and cut chicken and cut a lot of things. And now I'm not sweating anymore. But I had to understand what the plant-based diet is. So
Awesome.
That's why I'm here.
This is great that you've seen the value of plant-based and brought your friends involved. And so if you can tell our professionals here who you're.
Sure. We have Bob Wang and Miss Lily Zhu, one of our top professionals in our financial industry. And Bob, would you like to share a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Hi. I've been a Silicon Valley serial entrepreneur for the last 40 years.
Wow.
Eating, working, partying. What we don't realize through this fast pace, that we're getting older and our body weight is increasing.
Right.
And health, as part of the Silicon Valley rush, gold rush, you just start gaining weight, at least for myself. So it's at the stage right now, I've managed to lose 15 pounds over the last
Congratulations.
couple of weeks, but now that's plateauing, It's really making myself examine, fat versus muscle loss while doing doing diets, and going vegetarian, plant-based seems like a good approach to reduce the visceral fat versus versus losing muscle and losing water. So really focusing on the visceral fat aspect of it and how that relate with plant-based diet.
So you came to the right place, because this challenge here is going to be less than 5 minutes to help you actually get your proteins, your good fats, and all the essential vitamins that you need. So we're going to do our energy balls, flaxseed meals. So our protein here, we're going to use our walnuts and pecans. And we have our secret ingredients, which is not a secret ingredient, it's our zucchinis. And I want you to be creative. We have our antioxidants, strawberries and blackberries. We have our dark chocolate chips, vegan, all plant-based. And we have some brown sugar if you want to use it. And then we have our flaxseed meal.
Great.
Okay? And your binding agent, if you want to add a little bit of water to mix it, you can get a little dirty if you want to do that. And so we have our Vitamix on each side. If you wanted to make your puree with cherries, it's totally up to you.
Well, Chef, we're up to the challenge.
You're up for the challenge.
We are up for the
What do you say
challenge.
about that?
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. So you have 5 minutes to prepare your challenge, and when you're done, I want you to plate it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So you ready? So your flaxseed is your base. So you ready?
Ready. Let's
So
do
let's
it.
put the counter on. We have 5 minutes for the challenge.
Okay.
Let's go. Get ready.
Okay.
All right. So you can use this here. You can mise en place if you want to use your Vitamix. You can put all your ingredients there. So I won't give you suggestions, but I do want to see some creativity with the Vitamix. You feel confident?
Yes, we're gonna have vitamins.
Okay, I can help out. Awesome. Yes, yes. Awesome. So pecans, all right, and nuts, all right, I love that. So I want you guys to make 3 energy balls. Odd numbers are great for presentation. So if you can do that. Make sure you use your ingredients there. And if you need any help, you can just call out Chef and I'll help you out. Chef? Okay. It could be challenging. So do you want me to put the power?
Put the power on.
Okay. Wow. Okay. And cut. Awesome. There's no points taken away for me to help. I still want to see your creativity.
Pretty good.
So Lily, do you feel confident?
Yes, we're gonna make some energy ball for
Yeah.
a busy day. I'm looking forward to this.
Okay. Okay. So I hear a lot of things about what you're doing at your company.
Yeah, we're.
So you're going to win this challenge, right? You're
I
just
hope
a winner.
so. So we.
Back in the US for the work that she did.
Yeah, we're helping a lot of families doing planning for their health plan as well, such
Okay.
as long-term care. It's really a fine balance between the health and wealth management.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so when we mix energy ball, we're gonna, experience a increase in our energy, and then that we can work better and create more
yes,
wealth for
yes.
families.
Yes, I love it. I love what you're doing for families in Silicon Valley. This challenge.
Flaxseed really binds.
What's that?
The flaxseed really binds.
Yes, the flaxseed really binds, so you don't have an issue there.
So
And this is easy. You can actually pack this to work. This is what I really like about the energy balls, which you can actually make this one activity, get dirty. So you have 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes.
Okay, I have a question, Chef. Is
Yes.
there anything you wouldn't want to use in these? Because they look pretty easy and
Yes.
foolproof,
Yes.
and that sounds like a great thing to do with kids. But is there anything you would not recommend using in
Beer.
this recipe?
Cilantro.
Yes.
Did you say
Alcohol.
beer, Bob?
So this is a free-for-all, but if you see that, we have the brown sugar that's on the table. I would have there as an option. That's why I'm kind of suggesting that the contestants kind of use the Vitamix and make their own sweetener. I remember you came to a class and we used bananas, right?
I was going to ask about
A
bananas.
substitute?
Would that work?
Yes, bananas would be a great substitute. But we're allowing the contestants to make their own choice, but we would love for them to go for something that's actually more natural than processed.
3 balls.
Yes, just 3 balls. Lily, what is that? Is that like a volcano?
A big one.
Oh, wow.
That's going to
Lily has a lot of balls.
That's going to give a lot of
Energy
energy.
bowling ball.
It's very energetic.
Yes. Wow.
So how much calories is that? Really?
So
Yeah. So for
that's actually a
for
great
family
question.
meal.
This is
Family size.
This is a great snack, low in calories, and depending on the proteins. And make sure if there is protein. Oh, nice. Look, plating, creativity, and taste. That's where we're gonna be judging you on. We literally have 30 more seconds left.
Oh boy.
So you have to move quickly. Start plating your ball. 3 balls. You have to move quickly. Bob, are you still just? You have to move like the wind.
Lily, that's
Move like the wind. And make sure if there is protein. Oh, nice. We have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands up, hands up. Bob, you're still licking your fingers. Hands up,
Eating the
Bob.
product.
Okay, good job. And so you're gonna leave it there, and what we're gonna do is we're going to present it for our taste testers.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. And so you're gonna walk over, or they're gonna walk over, and you're gonna share the dish. Okay. So, yes. All right. So let's hold your plates.
Okay.
Here.
How did you get the white powder?
And so you're gonna come over and we're gonna taste the.
Oh boy.
Okay.
That's
go
pretty.
first.
You did a really nice job with the decoration.
Okay.
So I did the flaxseed with the brown sugar with water, and I added the chocolate, and I chopped the blackberries, and the excess of my walnuts, I rolled them in so that I would have that as my coating.
I love it.
And then I put the
Yeah.
little.
Oh,
It's okay.
it's pretty. You cook it.
I'll take that over here. Cool.
Chef,
And
Hopefully, I don't disappoint.
okay, so ladies, help
Do we have a
yourself.
spoon or
Take-
just go?
You know, go in there. if you-
Go
Yeah,
for it.
yeah, go for it. Go for it.
It's good. I'm excited
Yeah,
to
yeah.
try
Here's
it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
Use
you.
my thumb.
Oh, thank you, Nina.
Okay.
Wow, delicious.
Cool. Let me try.
Hopefully, I don't disappoint the chef.
Wow. Wow.
Just like figs.
Yeah,
but
your
it's the
flavor combo is great.
seeds
The
from the
chocolate and the berries.
blackberry.
It's
I
moist
love this.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice
Good-
job.
good- Nice
Great
job.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it.
Cool. So,
Take another bite.
Lily, I don't even know. What should we do about this? Is this like family style balls? So should we all just dig in?
What's in
So we
it?
have four judges here, so I want to make sure I
Oh,
provide
you did
enough
this
energy
intentionally.
for all of us.
Oh.
And then, and my philosophy is keep the raw format as much as possible. So I only chopped the strawberry, and then add all the fruits and proteins all together. And with that, it's very natural. You know,
Yes.
nothing has been processed so heavily. And then with the display, I hope that you could.
Yes. Okay, so
enjoy
we're
it.
gonna taste this really quick.
tasting.
Okay. I'm not sure about this one.
Too healthy?
Yeah, let's have Bob's really quick. We're gonna have to move on to our next challenge really quick.
No. Needs more sweetness in that.
Tastes healthy.
Okay.
All right, so good. This is great. So this is close. We decided on who will be the one that receives the silver fork at the Get Fit Eat Well challenge. So this fork symbolizes what you have done today. And Mina,
Yes.
you have received the fork. You can't take away this fork here. We're gonna mail this to you.
Okay.
And you guys win a trip to anywhere around the world.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, the other team.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Just kidding. We don't have a budget for that. Yeah. So let's go enjoy the energy balls, right? Yeah. Cool.
One. Just kidding.
Yeah.
I love that you made it gigantic. And guys, so I'm sorry.
Yes. Great. It was great having this.
I really like Bob's too.
Oh, Bob's.
Yours was pretty good.
Bob's. It was great, but this
Yours
one was
just
like.
lacked a little sweetness.
And
Sorry.
really quickly, now that we are all together, like, what do you feel like is the struggle, with that health and wealth? Like, I know that, we have to be responsible in our own professional careers, like.
Exactly. I think
So-
a lot of us here are the sandwich generation where we have elderly that we have to care for, and we have children. And so I find myself, my mom is close to 90 years old, and she has Parkinson's and dementia.
Oh, gosh.
And we went through this whole long-term care. We didn't know that there was actually resources and insurance and products that could have saved my family from financial disaster, because long-term care is not covered by
Yeah.
medical insurance. And a lot of times people think, oh, when I get old, the government or the insurances that we have can take care of us.
Right,
But it's
right.
totally false.
Nice.
So by us being healthy, we can actually get on, better programs
Yeah.
to help us financially.
Yeah.
So it's just a vicious cycle. Like, I'm guilty of it myself because I'm trying to take care of my family, my elderly, and my kids, but I neglect myself. So I'm not spending the hour that I used to when I was single, working out every day, was really fit. I
Right.
had about 5% body fat, about 110
Oh my goodness.
pounds.
Yeah.
And now, I've added a one to my size in front, not one, and
Yeah. Okay, great. So I'm glad that we were able to do this challenge, and this goal is to really challenge our friends and families, not just in Silicon Valley, but really be pioneers in this space, using technology, using sustainability and self-care to help inspire people outside of our own lives. Great. Thank you guys.
Thank
Thank you for having us.
thank you.
Thank you.
Cool.